Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start chapter 6, that is the triangle and its properties. So 6.1 introduction. So a triangle you have seen is a simple closed curve made of three line segments. It has three vertices, three sides and three angles. So here is a triangle you can see in figure 6.1, triangle ABC. It has sides AB, BC and CA. You can see that. So it is denoted by AB bar, BC bar and CA bar, and angles, angle BAC, ABC and BCA. So angle BCS has angled at this one C, BCA. So you can see that, and the vertices are ABC. The side opposite to the vertex A is BC. So you can say that the side opposite to the vertex A is BC. So you can see here. So it is like that. Can you name the opposite angle opposite to the side A? So angle opposite to side AB. So you can see angle opposite to side AB is angle C. So it is clear. You know how to classify triangle based on the side 1 and 2 angle. So 1 based on sides, scalene, isosceles and equilateral triangles. Based on angles, acute angle, obtuse angle and right angle triangles. Make proper cut model of the above triangle shapes. Compare your model with those of your friends and discuss about them. So there is a try this section. So you can see that it's very easy. So now let us try to explore something more about triangles. So 6.2 medians on a triangle. So given a line segment, you know how to find its perpendicular bisector by paper folding. Cut out a triangle ABC from a piece of paper as you can see in figure 6.3. So you can see a figure 6.3 and they are folding the paper. Consider any one of its sides, say BC. So you can see BC, and by folding paper folding, locate the perpendicular bisector of BC. So they have folded the paper and find out the perpendicular bisector of BC. The folded crease meets BC at D. So this crease, where the folded crease meets at BC at D. So you can see here, it's the midpoint, join AD. So you can join the midpoint AD. So you can see here, the line segment AD joining the midpoint of BC to its opposite vertex A is called a median. So opposite vertex A is this, and the midpoint joining BC is called the median of the triangle. So you can see. Consider the sides AB and CA and find two more medians. So you can see, so you can draw a median here and a median here. So you can do that. A median connects a vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. So when you make the midpoint here, so at the opposite two side vertex C on the side AB will be a midpoint, that is median. So you can see that. So here is a think and discuss and write. 6.3 altitudes of a triangle. Make a triangular shaped cardboard ABC. Place it upright on a table. So they have made a triangular shaped cardboard ABC and they have placed it on the table. How tall is the triangle? The height of the distance from the vertex in figure 6.4 to the base BC. So you can see from base BC the height is the distance from vertex C. From A to BC, you can think of many line segments. See the next in figure 6.5. So you can see there are many possibilities. Which among them will represent its height? So the height is given by the line segment that starts from A. So come straight down to BC. So it is perpendicular to BC. So the line segment which is perpendicular to BC will be the height of the triangle. So you can see the line segment AL. You can see here the AL, it is perpendicular, is altitude of the triangle. And altitude has one endpoint of it at a vertex of the triangle and the other at the line containing the opposite side. So endpoint it has the altitude is the endpoint of at a vertex and on the other line containing the opposite side. Through each vertex an altitude can be drawn. So from every vertex there can be an altitude drawn. From here also you can draw it, from C also you can draw it, and from A you have seen L was the altitude. So AL was the altitude. So you can do these things, exercises, very easy. exterior angle of a triangle and its property. So you can see exterior angles of a triangle. So one, draw a triangle ABC and produce one of its sides, say BC, as shown in the figure 6.7. So one side is BC and observe the angle ACD. So you can see the angle ACD here. So the angle formed at the point C. So you can see the angle at ACD formed at point C. This angle lies in the exterior of triangle ABC. So this angle is outside this triangle. So it is in the exterior, and it is called the exterior angle of the triangle ABC formed at vertex C. Clearly, angle BAC, so you can see BA and C. So is an adjacent angle to angle ACD. Yes, it's clear. The remaining two angles of the triangle, namely angle A and angle B, are called the interior opposite angles. So angle A and angle B are called the interior opposite angles, or the two remote interior angles of angle ACD. Now cut out or make a trace copy of angle A and angle B. Place them adjacent to each other as shown in the figure 6.8. So you can see in the 6.8 figure. Do these two papers together entirely cover ACD? Can you say that angle ACD is equal to M angle A plus M angle B? As done earlier, draw a triangle ABC and form an exterior angle ACD. Now take a protractor and measure angle ACD, angle A and angle B. Find the sum of angle A plus angle B and compare it with the measure of angle ACD. Do you observe that angle ACD is equal or nearly equal if there is an error in measurement to the angle A plus angle B? So you may repeat the two activities as mentioned by drawing some more triangles along with their exterior angles. Every time you will find that the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of its two interior opposite angles. So it will be always equal. A logical step-by-step argument can further confirm this fact. So there is a logical step-by-step argument given here. An exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of interior opposite angles. So you can see here, consider a triangle ABC, angle ACD is the exterior angle, and you can see that the measurement of angle ACD is equal to measurement of angle A plus a measurement of angle B. So here through C, draw CE. So you can see line segment C is drawn from C vertex. So you can see here parallel to AB, BA. You can see here it is parallel. These two are parallel to each other. So justification is there here, given here. So angle 1 is equal to angle X. So this angle and this angle is equal because it is transversal. Angle line BA, line segment CA is parallel to each other, and AC is a transversal. So you can see AC is transversal. So to it, so it is therefore alternate angle should be equal. So angle 2 is equal to angle Y. So you can see this angle and this angle is equal. Why? Because BA is parallel to CE and BD is a transversal. Therefore corresponding angle should be equal. Now angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle X plus angle Y. So it's clear from figure, you can see that. Now angle X plus angle Y is equal to M angle ACD. Hence angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle ACD. So you can see these are equal. The above relation between an exterior angle and its two interior opposite angle is referred to as the exterior angle property of the triangle. So think, discuss and write is there. So you can do that. Now here is an example 1. Find angle X in figure 6.11. So you have to find this angle, and these two angles are given. So you can see sum of interior opposite angle is equal to exterior angle. So interior opposite angle was 50 and X. So you can see interior opposite angles is equal to exterior angle, that is 110. X is equal to 60. So you can see this was very easy, and now there is think and discuss and write. You can see that and try this, and exercise is given here. So if you can do that yourself, and if you have any doubt, you can ask it in the comment section. So now 6.5, angle sum property of a triangle. So you can see there is a remarkable property connecting the three angles of a triangle. You are going to see this through the following 4 activities. 1. Draw a triangle. Cut on the three angles, rearrange them as shown in figure 16.3, 1, 2. So the three angles now constitute one angle. This angle is a straight angle and so has measure 180 degree. So it has a measure of 180 degree. So you can see that thus the sum of the measure of the three angle of a triangle is 180 degrees. So you should always remember that. The same fact you can observe in the different way also. Take three copies of any triangle and a triangle ABC. As you can see in figure 6.14, there are three triangles. You can see. Arrange them as in figure 15. So they are arranged them in different places. So you can see, as you can observe, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to, and do you see the exterior angle property? So when you see the exterior angle property, you can find that out. Take a piece of paper and cut out a triangle, say triangle ABC, as in figure 16.16. 6.16, make the altitude AM. So they have made the altitude AM from the crease by folding triangle ABC such that it passes through A. So it's clear. Fold now the three corners such that all the three vertices ABC touch at M. So they have folded like that so that they can touch at M. You find that all the three angles form together a straight angle. So this again shows that the sum of the measure of all the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So you should remember that it's always 180 degree. Draw any three triangle, say triangle ABC, triangle PQR and triangle XYZ in your notebook. Use a protractor and measure each of the angles of this triangle. So tabular result you can see that. So you can see here triangle ABC. So M angle A is equal to, so you can measure the angles and then sum of the measure of the three angles you can write. So it will be 380, 180. So allowing marginal errors in measurement, you will find that the last column always gives 180 degree or nearly 80. So it will give always 180 degree. When perfect precision is possible, this will also show that the sum of the measures of the three angle of a triangle is 180 degree. You are now ready to give a formal justification of your assertion through logical argument. So statement is here. The total measure of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. To justify this, let us use the exterior angle property of a triangle. So you can see that as above, we are using the exterior angle property. So given angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 of a triangle ABC, angle 4 is the exterior angle when BC is extended to D. So you can see that above. Angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle 4, exterior angle property. So angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to angle 4 plus angle 3. Adding angle 3 to both sides. So angle 3 is added to both the sides. But angle 4 and angle 3 forms a linear pair. So it is 180 degrees. So you have learned in the previous chapter that when there is a linear pair, it is 180 degree. Therefore 1 plus 2 plus 3, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. Let us see how we can use this property in a number of ways. So they are using it in this property here. So you can see there is a triangle in 18 at M. You have to find angle P. So by measuring some property of a triangle, angle P plus 47 plus 52 is equal to 180. So this simply angle P can be finded out. 180 minus 47, you can see here, minus 52. So 180 minus 99 is 91. So here you got 81 as angle P. So here is an exercise. You can do it yourself. If you have any doubt, you can ask it in the comment section below. 6.6, two special triangles, equilateral and isosceles. A triangle in which all three sides are equal length is called an equilateral triangle. We all know this. Take two copies of an equilateral triangle ABC, as in figure you can see 6.19. Keep one of them fixed. Place the second triangle on it. It fits exactly into the first. Turn it around in any way and still they will fit with one another exactly. Since the angle is 60 degree each, so it will fit any way you put it above it. Are you able to see that when the three sides of a triangle have equal length, then the three angles are also of the same size? We conclude that in an equilateral triangle, all the sides have the same length. So it is also equal, all the sides are equal. Each angle has measure of 60 degree. So a triangle in which two sides are equal length is called an isosceles triangle. So we have studied this before. From a piece of paper, cut out an isosceles triangle XYZ with XY is equal to XZ. So you can see XY is equal to XZ. You can see that they are equal. As in figure 6.20, fold it such that Z lies on Y. So you should fold such that Z should lie on Y like this. You will fold like this from the middle. The line XM through X is now the axis of symmetry. So xm is the axis of symmetry now. So you can see, which you will read in the 14th chapter. You find that angle y and angle z fit on each other exactly. xy and xz are called equal sides. So these two are equal sides. xy and yz is called the base. Angle y and angle z are called the base angle, and these are also equal. So yz is the base and y and z are equal base angle, and they are also equal. Thus in an isosceles triangle, two sides have equal same length and base angle opposite to the equal sides are equal. So you know that. From this you can try this, find angle x in each of the figure. So you can find that, it is very easy. So 6.7, sum of the lengths of two sides of a triangle. So you can see, 1. Mark 3 non-collinear spots A, B and C in your playground. Using lime powder, mark the path AB, BC and AC. Ask your friend to start from A and reach C. Walk along one or more of these paths. She can, for example, walk along AB and then along BC to reach C. Or she walk straight along AC. She will naturally prefer the direct path AC. If she takes the other path AB and then BC, then she will have to walk more. So you can see that if she walk like this, AB and then BC, she will have to walk more. So AB plus BC is greater than AC. So it is common sense that AB and plus BC is always the largest path. So you should take a shorter path. Therefore AC is less than AB plus BC. Similarly, if one were to start from B and go to A, he or she will not take the route BC and CA, but will prefer BA. This is because BC plus CA is greater than AB. So AB is smaller. You can see that. So by a similar argument, you can find CA plus AB is greater than BC. So these observations says that the sum of the length of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. Collect 15 small sticks or strips of different length, say 6 cm, 7 cm, 8 cm, 9 cm to 20 cm. Take any three of these sticks and try to form a triangle. Repeat this by choosing different combinations of 3 sticks. Suppose you first choose 2 sticks of length 6 cm and 12 cm. Your third stick has to be of length more than 12 minus 6, that is 6 cm, and less than 12 plus 6, 18 cm. Try this and find out why it is so. To form a triangle, you will need any 3 sticks such that the sum of the length of any two of them will always be greater than the length of the third stick. This also says that the sum of the length of two sides of a triangle is greater than the right side. So whenever you do add the two sides of a triangle, it will always be greater than the third side. So you can draw 3 triangles, say ABC, PQR and XYZ in your notebook. So you can see these are the triangles 1, 2 and 3. So you can see. So in angle ABC, length of side. So is it true? CA is less than AB minus BC. So you should find that, and if it is yes or no, you should tick in the yes or no section. This also strengthens our earlier guess. Therefore, we conclude that sum of the length of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. We also find that the difference between the length of any two sides of a triangle is smaller than the length of the third side. So example number 3. Is there a triangle whose side have length 10.2 cm, 5.8 cm and 4.5 cm? So solution. Suppose such a triangle is possible, then the sum of the length of any two sides would be greater than the length of the third side. Let us check. So they are checking. So 4.5 plus 5.8 is greater than this. Yes. These two are greater than this. Yes. And these two are greater than this. Yes. Therefore, the triangle is possible. So very easy method. You can add the two sides and check whether it is greater than that other side. Example 4. The length of the two sides of a triangle are 6 cm and 8 cm, between which two number can length of the third side fall. So we should find out between two numbers of length in which the third side falls. We know that the sum of two sides of a triangle is always greater than the third side. So what they are doing? Therefore, third side has to be less than the sum of the two sides. Therefore, the third side is thus less than the 8 plus 6 is equal to 14 centimeter. So the side cannot be less than the difference of the two sides. Thus the third side has to be more than 8 minus 6, that is 2 centimeter. So the length falls between 2 and 14. So it is very easy. So you can find that. Here is an exercise. You can solve it. And here is a think and discuss section. You can do that also. 6.8, right angle triangle and Pythagoras property. So this is very important, Pythagoras property. With the help of Pythagoras, many people have found the length between the distance between the earth and the moon and different things. So Pythagoras theorem is very good. So Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher of 6th century BC, is said to have found a very important and useful property of right angled triangles given in this section. The property is hence named after him. In fact, this property was known to people of many other countries too. The Indian mathematician Baudhyan has also given an equivalent form of this property. We now try to explain the Pythagoras property. You can see in a right angle triangle, the side have some special names. The side opposite to the right angle is called the hypotenuse. So this is the right angle and this is the hypotenuse. The side opposite to the right angle is called hypotenuse. The other two sides are known as legs of the right angle triangle. So in triangle ABC, the right angle is at B. So AC is the hypotenuse. AB and BC are the legs of the triangle ABC. So it is easy. Make 8 identical copies of a right angle triangle of any size you prefer. For example, you make a right angle triangle whose hypotenuse is A unit long and the legs are of length B unit and C unit. Draw the two identical squares on a sheet with equal lengths B plus C. So you can see here, they have given the example here and you can see the square one here. You are to place 4 triangles in one square and the remaining 4 triangles in the other square as shown in the figure for 66.25. So you can see they have put 8 squares in it. 4 triangle in one square. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 triangles and the remaining in other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 triangles are there in 2 squares. So the squares are identical. The 8 triangles inside it are also identical. Hence the uncovered area of a square is equal to uncovered area of square B. Area of inner square of square A is equal to the total area of 2 uncovered square in square B. So A square is equal to B square plus C square. This is Pythagoras property. It may be stated as in a right angle triangle, the square of hypotenuse is equal to sum of square of the lengths. So this is the square of hypotenuse and this is the square of the legs. Pythagoras property is a very useful tool in mathematics. It is formally proved as theorem in later classes. You should be clear about its meaning. It says that for any right angle triangle, the area of the square on the Pythagoras on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the area of the square of it on the legs. Draw a right angle triangle, preferably on a square sheet. Construct a square on its sides, compute the area of these squares and verify the theorem practically by figure 6.26. So you can see the figure 6.26. If you have a right angle triangle, the Pythagoras property holds. If the Pythagoras property holds for some triangle, will the triangle be right angled? Such problems are known as converse problems. We will try to answer this. Now we will show that if there is a triangle such that sum of the square on the two of its side is equal to the square on the third side, it must be a right angle triangle. So we have to do this. Have cut out a square with side 4 cm, 5 cm, 6 cm long. Arrange to get a triangular shape by placing the corner of the square suitably as shown in the figure 6.27. So you can see they have done that like that. Measure each angle of the triangle. You find that there is no right angle at all. So in fact in this case each angle will be acute. Note that 4 square plus 5 square is not equal to 6 square and 5 square plus 6 square is not equal to 4 square and 6 square plus 4 square is not equal to 5 square. So second, repeat the above activity with square whose sides have lengths 4, 5 and 7 you get an obtuse angle triangle. Note that 4 square plus 5 square is not equal to 7 square, etc. This shows that Pythagoras property holds only if and only a triangle is right angle triangle. So always the Pythagoras theorem holds in a right angle triangle. If the Pythagoras property holds, the triangle must be right angled. So determine whether the triangle whose length of sides are 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter and 5 centimeter respectively is a right angle triangle. So you can see 3 square is equal to 9, 4 square is equal to 16, 5 square is equal to 25. So 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 25. So it is a right angle triangle. In any right angle triangle, the hypotenuse happens to be the longest side. So you should always know that the hypotenuse is always the longest side. In this example, the side will be with length 5 centimeter and 5 centimeter is the hypotenuse. So example number 6, in triangle ABC is a right angle triangle at C. So you can see it's a right angle at C. If AC is equal to 5 and BC is equal to 12, then the length of AB. So you have to find the AB. AB is equal to AC square plus BC square. So 5 square plus 12 square is equal to 169. So it is 13 square. So square get cancelled and AB is equal to 13. So length of AB is 13. Very easy to identify perfect square. You should use the prime factorization technique. So you can try this. Find out the unknown length in X in the given figure. So you can use the Pythagoras theorem. So it is very easy. 9, 16 is equal to 5, 25. 25 square get cancelled and it gets 5. So you can do the similarly for this also. So you can see this is the hypotenuse here and here this is the hypotenuse because it is the opposite side to the right angle. So you can do that also, very easy. So here is an exercise, you can do that, and if there is any doubt you can ask it in the comment section. So here the chapter is finished and we will start the next chapter in the next class.